In this video, I'm going to be introducing substitution. So you can pause me right here to write down these notes. These are the notes on substitution. Yeah, take a screenshot or whatever. So substitution just means replacing variables with numbers. That's it. Replacing variables with numbers. Now remember, a variable is a letter that can have different values. Okay, so you're replacing letters with numbers, basically. So, or, like I've written down here, putting numbers where letters are. Okay, so replacing letters with numbers. All right, the best way to learn about substitution is to do. So let me show you how these definitions come into play with actual examples. So, question 1, evaluate the following expressions. And sorry, I forgot to mention also that these types of questions relate to the later sections in the learning task that I've uploaded to Daymap. And if you want to have a go at some extension work on substitution, that document is also on Daymap, and these questions apply to that also. So, evaluate the following expressions. Expression, no equal sign. Okay, that's why you'll notice that all of these expressions do not have equal signs. So, what this is saying is the expression is x plus 2, and wherever you see an x, the x equals 2. So you are substituting the 2 where the x is, or for the x. Okay, so you're replacing the variable with a number. So you're putting the number where the letter is. So wherever I see an x, I have to put a 2. So how I would calculate that is two plus 5, so the 2 goes here where the x is, and 2 plus 5 is obviously 7. That's the answer. Okay, this one, remember, when there are no gaps between two things, there's an imaginary time sign. So this actually means 9 times x, and wherever you see an x, you substitute 3. So that's 9 times 3. Okay. And remember, when you are substituting, the question won't actually always be written in this form. It might also be written with words. Okay, but anyway, you calculate an answer and you get 27. Okay. Next one, x over 5, or x divided by 5. So wherever you see an x, you put a 35. So that would become 35 divided by 5. Now the answer to that is also 7. Now if these start getting a little bit tricky for you, you can always use your calculator. I've got mine here. Just turn it on. You can always use your calculator and put it in. So if I wanted to put 35 divided by 5, I could just press my fraction button and I'd put 35 up the top and 5 down the bottom. And that obviously gives me 7. Okay. Then last one. For question 1, we've got negative x squared, the squared is outside the bracket, plus 8 divided by 13. So you put -4, because x equals -4, where you see the x. So this -4 is getting put in there. So before I even calculate anything, I'll rewrite this expression with x equals -4. So see how I've put the -4 in the brackets, and everything else gets written exactly how it is in the question. Okay, now using your index laws knowledge, you should know that this, the -4 squared, so this part here, in expanded form is just -4 times itself 2 times. So this is the same as -4 times -4. Now you could work that out and say 4 times 4 is obviously 16, and 2 negatives make a positive. So that equals positive 16. Or you can use your calculator and you would put it into your calculator exactly how you see it. So bracket -4, bracket, squared. So my x with my 2 on it. Just bring it here. So see how I've written it exactly how it is in the question? And you press equals and you get 16. Okay, so you input into your calculator exactly how you see it. All right, then that becomes, well, this negative still stays there. This part equals 16. Now, this is what we end up with. You can actually put this straight in your calculator, or you can do the maths in your head. So you'd go -16 plus 8, which obviously equals -8 over 13. Or you can put it into your calculator. So let's do that together. Fraction button, that one here for me. And you're doing -16, exactly how you see it, plus 8 divided by 13. Exactly how you see it. Press equals, you get -8 over 13. Okay, I'll just circle the answers to make it obvious what they are. Okay, you can screenshot or pause and copy down that. All right, we'll move to the next questions. Okay, question 2. Evaluate 3h minus 7 by substituting h equals 12. So wherever we see a h, we're going to put 12. So this 12 is going to go in there. Now, when there are no gaps between two things, all right, when there are no gaps between two things, there's an imaginary time sign. So I can actually rewrite this expression 3h minus 7 as 3 times h minus 7. To make it easier to see what we need to do with this 12 and how we can put it in, how we can substitute it in. So now where we see the h, we put 12. So we end up with 3 times 12, because h equals 12, minus 7. And the multiplication part needs to happen first. Okay, so how you can do that in your calculator, if you want, is you can do 3 times 12 first, and write equals, which obviously equals 36, and then you can take away 7 from it. So just press take away straight away, and then 7 equals, and you get 29. Or you can get the exact same answer by putting it all in at once. So copying it exactly how you see it. Bracket 3 times 12, bracket, minus 7. So it's exactly how I see it. And you see that you get the exact same answer. Okay? Okay, so the answer is 29. Now, let's do the same thing for question 3. Evaluate -9 plus w divided by 12 by substituting w equals 21. Okay, so wherever we see a w, we're going to put in 21. All right, now let's rewrite this with 21 substituting for w. So we get -9 plus, now we don't want w anymore, we want 21 instead, divided by 12. Okay, now again, there's 2 ways you can input this into your calculator. The first way is you do the numerator first, so the top part first. You can go -9 plus 21, get an answer, and then use that answer and divide by whatever's down the bottom or the denominator. So you can go divide by 12, which equals 1. Or you can put it in exactly how you see it. So because this is in fraction form, you'll need to press the fraction button. You do -9 plus 21 on the top, and you do 12 down the bottom, and you get the same answer, you get 1. Okay? Just making sure that whichever way you plan on doing it, you write down your working out. So look at how I'm setting out my page. I'm working downwards. I'm not working across my page. I'm working downwards. It's neat. You can read it. It makes sense. And my answer's down the bottom. Okay. So this equals 12 divided by 12, which equals 1. Now I'm going to pause it there so that you can copy this into your books, take a screenshot, and we'll move on to the last question. So question 4, substitute A equals 3, B equals -1, and C equals 2 to evaluate 2AB plus AC minus 5BC. Okay, so let's do that. You're putting in A is 3, B is -1, and C is 2 into all of these variables in here, okay? Now, if you're going to input this into your calculator as one whole thing in one go, you need to be very careful that your calculator doesn't mistake each term as the negatives or the positives getting mixed up. You need to ensure that each part that you put in is done correctly. So what you can actually do to begin with is put brackets around each term, all right? And then it's easier for you to see what we need to do, or you can just separate it across your page. Now, don't forget that when there are no gaps between things, there are imaginary time signs. So I'm going to rewrite this and put time signs in there so it's easier to read and we know what to do. So I'll have 2AB is the same as 2 times A times B. Then we have a plus. Then we have AC, so that's the same as A times C. And then we have minus 5BC, which is the same as 5 times B times C. Okay, now that's easier to read. We'll go ahead and input our values. So here we've got 2 times, well, A is 3 times B, which is -1. Okay, so I've put A is 3 in here, and I've put B is -1 in there. Then I've got plus, and then I've got A times C, which is 3 times 2, because the A equals 3 and the C equals 2. Then we are subtracting 5 times B, or B is -1, times C, which is 2. Okay, now again, you can go ahead and put this in your calculator all in one go. But for something like this, I would prefer to do it separately, just so I get actual answers for each part. So I'll do the first part first. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times -1 is -6. If you wanted to do that in your calculator, you could simply just go 2 times 3 times -1, and you'll see you'll get the same answer. Now, I don't need brackets anymore because I've just figured out what the answer is of everything in the brackets. Then I got a plus, and I've got 3 times 2, which is 6. Then I've got minus 5 times -1 is -5, and -5 times 2 is -10. Put it in a calculator just in case. So you'd go, not 55, you'd go 5 times -1 times 2. Okay, I'll just bring this into the light. See how I've put it in exactly how I see it in the brackets? Press equals, and you get -10. Okay. Now, 2 negatives make a positive, so this actually becomes -6 plus 6 plus 10, and -6 plus 6 cancel each other out to give you 0, so 0 plus 10 equals 10. So the answer is 10. Alternatively, you could have just put this into your calculator at this step here, exactly how you see it. So -6 plus 6 minus -10, and you get 10 as well. I'll just move this to the side. So pause, take a screenshot, copy down this question.